Dear students, welcome to the 26th session, which is on the Pickwick Papers by Charles Dickens, prescribed by the Mangalore University for 3rd semester BA Optional English, Paper 3, Victorian Literature. This is Vasanta Ravi Prakash, Associate Professor, Department of English, Purna Prajna College, Udupi. This video highlights chapters 33 to 36. In the previous session, we have seen Gabriel Grant as a mirror image of Mr. Pickwick. To the question why Mr. Pickwick suffers though he was not guilty of any of the blames put on him, we get the answer from the story of the sexton, Gabriel Grant. We understand that the troubles in life is to bring in the moral development of a person. We have seen Ben Allen and Bob Sawyer's visit to Manor Farm and the further developments. Dickens exposes the callousness of legal practitioners and medical practitioners clearly in the previous chapters. Finally, you have seen the chaos created by Mrs. Raddle in Bob Sawyer's party. It is on the Valentine's Day the trial between Mrs. Bardell and Mr. Pickwick takes place. Ironically, it is a case against Mr. Pickwick for a breach of promise. Mr. Tony Weller summons his son Sam before the trial takes place. Sam writes a valentine to his beloved Mary, which displeases his father. Tony Weller tells Sam the manner a valentine has to be written. Sam is told that a valentine is usually signed in some other's name. Sam signs the valentine as follows: "Your lovesick Pickwick," and posts it to Mary. Tony Weller thinks that this will help Pickwick as an alibi to escape from Mrs. Bardell's legal case. Tony was not convinced when Sam said that an alibi will not save Pickwick as it is inadmissible. Sam's inclination towards Mary does not match with Tony Weller's present attitude towards marriage. Tony Weller invites Sam for a temperance meeting. The hatred which Mr. Weller had for Stiggins erupts and Weller hits Stiggins openly and feels contented. Mr. Stiggins gets drunk and starts a fight with another speaker at the temperance meeting. Sam pacifies the situation as usual. In this episode, we see a clash between Mr. Weller and Stiggins, which can be interpreted as a clash between Weller's straightforwardness and Stiggins' hypocrisy. Sam abuses his father that he is serious about Mary. The temperance meeting is misused by Stiggins. Mr. Stiggins, the hypocrite, is exposed in the temperance meeting. Dickens very clearly gives us a message that excess of drinking alcohol will cause chaos and Mr. Stiggins fall into trouble because of being drunk. Now we shall go to the highlights of the trial between Mrs. Bardell and Mr. Pickwick. The trial begins. Dodson and Fogg describe Pickwick as a schemer and as a deceiver. Pickwick was accused to ruin Mrs. Bardell's life intentionally. The lawyers proved to be smart by submitting 2 letters as evidence in this case. They tactfully misinterpret the letters, presenting Pickwick as a person who was guilty of a crime. When the other Pickwickians accept that they have seen Pickwick holding Mrs. Bardell in his hands, Pickwick loses even the slightest chance of winning the case. Winkle complicates the matter by mentioning Pickwick's accidental entry into Miss Witherfield's room. Sam handles the matter tactfully. He boldly speaks about Dodson and Fox's real motive behind the case. The court finds Pickwick to be guilty and imposes £700 as penalty for his mistake. Pickwick was sure not to pay the penalty, but he was ready to be in the debtor's prison. Pickwick's conviction is tremendous. Once again, the carelessness of the lawyers is exposed, which is seen through Sergeant Snubbin's indifference to Pickwick's case. Let us see the highlights of the trial. The lawyers try out a lot of villainy to prove Mr. Pickwick to be guilty. Sam manages to get through the cross-examination at court successfully. Mrs. Bardell's lawyers dismiss Sam because of his feigned stupidity. According to Dickens, Sam manages to achieve what he wanted to have. Mr. Pickwick decides to visit the city of Bath after the trial is over. The Pickwickians meet Mr. Dowler and his wife in the coach. Mr. Dowler introduces the Pickwickians to the Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Bantam, who is an important figure in Bath. A tall servant gets intrigued by Sam at the MC's house. The Pickwickians enjoy the ball that night, in spite of Pickwick having a difficult time with a group of female card players seated next to him. During the time of the Pickwick Papers, Bath was no longer the fashionable city it used to be. The mineral springs in Bath attracted many people. The water in the springs was supposed to have healing power. A register was kept at the bath where guests were supposed to sign. Mr. Pickwick rents a house for himself and his friends. He invites Mr. and Mrs. Dowler to stay with them. Mr. Dowler falls asleep waiting for his wife, who is out at a party. Mr. Winkle is wakened by the banging of the door and answers it in his nightshirt. Mr. Dowler awakens and mistakes that Mr. Winkle and his wife are running off together. Now, this episode focuses more on Mr. Winkle. Now, Mr. Winkle comes under suspicion, who is guilty of nothing. Winkle, the sportsman, seems to be the target of jealousy of three men in the novel. This leads to a suggestion of a duel because sportsmen may be good shots. In reality, Mr. Winkle is no-time sportsman and is also a coward. This proves to be advantageous because by the 1830s, if a man killed someone in a duel, he would have to flee the country. We have come to the end of the 26th session. Let us go to the multiple choice questions. Question number 1. Who gets drunk at a temperance meeting? Is it Sam Weller, or is it Mr. Stiggins, or Mr. Winkle, or Mr. Pickwick? The answer is, it is Mr. Stiggins. We shall go to the next question now. Who is described as a schemer and a deceiver in the trial between Mrs. Bardell and Mr. Pickwick? The answer is Mr. Pickwick. Who manages to get through the cross-examination successfully? Is it Sam Weller, or Mr. Pickwick, or Mr. Stiggins, or Mr. Winkle? The answer is, it is Sam Weller. Who is the Master of Ceremonies in Bath? Is it Mr. Dowler, or Mr. Bantam, or Mr. Stiggins, or none of the above? The answer is Mr. Bantam. We shall go to the last question now. What in Bath attracted many people? Is it the gambling houses, or alcohol, or the mineral springs, or the parties? Let's see the answer now. It is the mineral springs. My dear students, now we come to the end of the session 26. Thank you.